Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of hashtag Makeup Together, how to make a simple dinner. Tonight I'm going to be making some hamburgers, some stuffed jalapenos, and some cheesy potatoes. So let's go ahead and get started on those. So I have some potatoes here and I'm just going to dice them. So I'm going to cut the potato into fourths. If you have a really fat potato, you can cut it into fifths. And then I just cut them like this, try to make them the same width, so that way they will cook about the same. And I'm going to cook these on 450 degrees for about 20 minutes. So I have the oven preheating right now, and I'm going to go ahead and chop all these up. And before I do that, I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil onto my pan, so that way they don't stick to the pan when you're trying to cut them or when you're trying to flip them later. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get started cutting on those. So all the potatoes are cut, and I'm going to add another thin layer of olive oil and get these into the oven, and then we're going to get started on the jalapenos. So I'm going to show you guys a trick that I like to use to get all of the insides out of the jalapeno. But before I do that, I just kind of stick the knife in there and just move it around like that. And then I put it in the sink, and then I will show you guys my trick. So to get them started, I just cut off the tops, and then I use my knife to separate this little white part in there. And just kind of move that around, and then I set them off to the side. So I accounted for like 3 jalapenos per person, but with these, I don't know if I could eat just 3. So you'll have to see once I'm done with them how much you guys want to make. And these are pre-frozen, so we just bought them on sale and then froze the jalapenos, so you can see that once they thaw out, they are still good texture wise, because there's some things that just don't freeze well at all, but jalapenos seem to do really good. So I'm just going to get these ready and then show you guys my trick. So what I like to do with these, now that they've had the top cut off, I just put water in them, kind of rub them together, and then it gets all that out. And so now it is seedless. So that's what I do. I just kind of smush them together. Sometimes you'll have to pull a little bit. So then you just wash all the seeds out, and it just comes out in a waterfall of seeds. And that's a lot easier than cutting it in half and trying to de-seed it. So yeah. Alright, so now that we have the jalapenos gutted, we're going to just cut them in half like so and get them prepared to be filled. There are some that have some other seeds, and if you don't want the seeds, because they are the spicier part of the jalapeno, feel free to just go back and rinse them out. So I'm going to just chop these up. And since these ones are kind of wet, because they were frozen, I'm going to just get a paper towel and dry them off a little bit, because I don't want them to be that wet when I'm cooking them. So that's what we're going to do with those. That one kind of broke a little bit, but that's okay. To get these ready to be stuffed. And I don't see any reason why, if you wanted to just do a whole jalapeno and not cut it in half, I think that would work out just fine. So there's a lot of water on here, so I'm just going to take them off, and then I'm going to dry them off with a paper towel. So I have the pan that I'm going to use. I'm just going to take the jalapenos and I'm going to dry them out and pull out just a little bit of that center. So I'm just going to pat them dry and just set them on here. I'm going to set them both side up, and then that's what I'm going to fill it with. So let's prepare these. Alright, so I have all the jalapenos here dried, and I'm going to be filling them with cream cheese. You can also, if you want, you can do a cream cheese and shredded cheese filling. But I'm going to be putting shredded cheese on the on the potatoes, excuse me. So I don't want to overdo it with cheese. I'm trying to actually eat a little bit less cheese. So what I'm going to do is just open this up. Here. And I'm going to take my spoon. I'm going to get some cream cheese in there, and then I'm just going to put it inside of the jalapeno and just spread it out a little bit. And then we're going to be wrapping these in bacon. So you just want to fill it up. I have quite a few, and I really don't want to use all this cream cheese. So I'm going to try to make enough to go around. So just fill it up like that. And if you do it with the cheese, I would recommend putting the cream cheese in a bowl and then adding the cheese to it and mixing it up before, instead of just sprinkling the cheese on top. I would mix it all in. And also I would recommend washing your hands frequently when doing the jalapenos, because my hands are definitely on fire. But it's not like super bad.
Oh my gosh.
So.
My legs are gonna feel like tonight.
Alright, so we're just gonna keep filling all this up. Just shoving all the cream cheese in there.
Mommy, this is not mine.
Alright, so I have the jalapenos stuffed, and now I'm going to take the bacon and wrap it around. And by the way, guys, my hands feel like they went to hell, came back, and they are reminding me why I have to stay on my best behavior. They hurt so bad, and they're not even like red. They are on absolute fire. So I'm not going to ever make this again without gloves, and I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend that you use gloves as well, because it hurts. Like, I am sweating, but I've already touched them, so I can't change that, so I might as well finish what I started. Yeah, so they are definitely burning. Like, it's like burning between my fingers. Yeah, definitely just do yourself a favor, put gloves on, because they burn really bad. They definitely burn. Alright, so I'm just going to wrap these in bacon. And so I preheated the oven to 400. So I turned it down a little bit from the potatoes. And I'm going to be cooking these for 15 minutes. And hopefully by then my hands will have had time to just chill, because they definitely do burn. But these are going to be so good. The last time that I had these, I bought it at Kroger, and they were pre-made. So I was like, man, those would be so fun, so easy to make. Yeah, if you have gloves on. So yeah, do yourselves a favor and do that first, because they're bad. Definitely burning. And when I put water on it, it makes it worse. So I can't do anything at this point. And it's like, it burns in my fingernails. I didn't even know that was possible for it to burn. Feels like it's burning under my fingernail. And I don't have any cuts or anything on my hand, so I don't know why. But anyways, so I'm just gonna finish wrapping these up. I think I'm probably gonna run out of bacon, because I had way more jalapenos than I had expected in the freezer. So I might cut some of the bacon in half, and then these will be less bacony. But I'll just continue wrapping them and seeing which ones are maybe smaller, that I can have them share the bacon. So, but these are pretty simple, but definitely wear gloves. Alright, so they are all done. So on some of these over here, I did run out of bacon. So what I did is I just cut the strip of bacon into fourths. And then since some of them weren't long enough to wrap the jalapeno, I just kind of laid it in the middle. So it won't be like fully wrapped, but it's about half and half. So these are going to go in the oven for 15 minutes on 400. And so I'm cheating a little bit tonight with some pre-made burgers. These are Applewood smoked bacon and cheddar. These are really good. Private selection from Kroger. And I'm going to be cooking them on the George Foreman grill since we're not using the grill outside today. So I'm just going to wait for it to preheat. And how I know that it's done is when that little orange light goes out. Alright, so the George Foreman is done. I sprayed it with a little bit of oil, and now I'm going to cook these about 5 minutes on each side. So I have the burger patties here. Stay. I'm going to be cooking 6 patties because that's what was in there. So after about 5 minutes, I'm going to flip them over, and then we're going to do another 5 minutes, and then they'll be done. So those are on there, and then I just close it like so. Put the grease thing underneath it so there's no mess. And after 5 minutes, then I'll flip them over. Alright everyone, the food has about another 5 more minutes. It smells great. So be sure to check out my Instagram to see how all this turned out, and I will give my honest review. And remember, wear gloves when you touch jalapenos. So once again, thanks so much for watching. If you have watched this far, I really appreciate it. I appreciate the support. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.